Welcome back. Parts of the country have recently been experiencing heavy rainfall, especially KwaZulu-Natal. The South African Weather Service yesterday issued a level 9 warning for that province. In April last year, KZN was hardest hit by floods, killing hundreds and destroying infrastructure and businesses. To get an outlook of the country and an update for KZN, we're joined now by forecaster Lehlohonolo Thobela. Lehlohonolo, thank you so much. Always great to speak to you. Except that when we do speak to you, we know there's some kind of weather activity happening that we all need to be aware of. Level 5 and 9 alerts issued for parts of KZN both yesterday and today, meaning a risk of disruption and probability of flooding being high. Now, did we see that heavy, prolonged rain materialize over the past 2 days?
Good evening and thanks for having us. Yes, definitely. That's what we've seen. I mean, in the past 24 hours since the warnings have been issued, areas in KZN like Margate were received and recorded about 106 millimeters of rain. Port Edward recorded about 92 millimeters. Devon South was 54, and areas around Paddock was around 60 millimeters of rain within 24 hours. So I think that was significant, and it followed the forecast that was sent out by the South African Weather Service yesterday.
How long is the weather system causing this prolonged rain expected to still be active?
The good news is that it's improving in state of the amount of rainfall that's falling currently into the weekend. Mainly, the most parts of what happened was overnight since yesterday. Then most of the showers and thunder showers, as it stands now, we're expecting isolated to a scattered chance of showers and thunder showers, mainly over the central and the eastern parts of the provinces that are in the northeastern parts. That would include Gauteng province, Mpumalanga, Limpopo, as well as the eastern parts of Eastern Cape and KZN as a whole. However, it seems to be improving by tomorrow, with isolated showers and thunder showers mainly expected over the weekend, with no warnings expected to bring more of disruptions. However, in some areas, as much as we have a 30% chance, a thunderstorm that moves in an area that's already having waterlogged areas and flooding, it seems to add more water. However, it isn't part of the warnings that are sent out. Most of the effect happened overnight.
So I think part of the biggest concern at the moment, is because there are so many motorists on the roads returning to wherever they come from. So obviously, for residents of KZN that were hard hit by floods last year, that trauma still remains. But for people from outside the province who are vacationing there, there's also a risk. So what can we expect to see in terms of, large amounts of water coming down quickly? From what I'm hearing from your previous answer, you've just said there's a decreased likelihood of large quantities of water coming down quickly.
As I've stated, I think most of the showers and rain that happen in areas where there's already been flooding and there's still a water amount that is above the floodplain, and where the areas that are prone to having low-lying areas which are prone to having floods due to a lot of rain, even an amount that is very small in terms of what falls into the ground, it seems to add on what's happening. So if as we're expecting a 30% chance of showers and thunder showers, I mean, in the coming weekend, if there are areas that are already impacted by the showers and rain, a slight amount of rainfall that falls over the land seems to add to the water. So there will be more runoff, there would be more flooding, depending on the area that you're in. However, if you're having a 30% chance in areas in Gauteng where there was no rain, the impact won't be as severe as what we'd expect in KZN, looking at the areas that were affected overnight from yesterday.
Okay, so motorists need to be cautious. I also want to talk a little bit about the rest of the country. Unfortunately, I've just been told we cannot talk about the rest of the country. We have to cross now to an ANC briefing.